Hey there everyone, so I just wanted to make a quick little video, right? Because, see, I'm a predominantly Boeing pilot. I think that's pretty obvious from all the other videos I've made, but I've recently transitioned to the Phoenix A320 because it's a very, very nice feeling plane. It's a very good plane. If you don't have it, I advise you get it. But I just wanted to make a quick little thing because I started out really, really bad at flying this plane. And I mean awful. So I just wanted to make a quick little video to show you how you can get better at it, because in all honesty, I think I'm pretty good at it now. So I just want to show you how you yourself can improve. And by the way we do this is through circuits. There are different types of circuits. There are IFR and VFR circuits. The difference is between them is VFR you're using your eyes to navigate where you are, while IFR is by predominantly using your instruments to see where you are. So this little screen having ATC tell you where to go with vectors. In the UK you will probably do it IFR, but if you're in America it'll be entirely VFR. And that's usually why most training is conducted in America, because that just makes more sense really. It's a better way to practice. So I recommend don't do this on VATSIM. You can do it on VATSIM, but I just wouldn't recommend it. But here we are in Gatwick. I'm going to walk you through how to do circuits in this aircraft, and we can get to it eventually, I'm sure. But just make sure you've done all your checks, you've inputted all your information in here. I'm not doing a tutorial on how to do this. Pretty bloody simple, if you ask me. And that's essentially it. But ECAM memo is takeoff. ECAM memo is takeoff, no blue. Get the parking brake off, hold the toe brakes, get 50% on the N1. Wait for the engines to spool up. Start flight recorder. Release the toe brakes. Roll for just a little bit. Put some side pressure down on the side stick, just like that. Set your chrono. So it's Manflex 68 SRS. Just going to pull this because I forgot about that. Manflex 68 SRS heading. Auto thrust blue. That's what we want to see. 80 knots, release the down pressure. Now we're just going to maintain the center line. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, crossing the midpoint right about now. It's V1, and let's rotate. Put some pressure back, and the plane will just come up on its own, hold this angle, plane comes up. Now we can pitch up. Let's positive rate gear up. And now we're just going to start climbing. Right, due to the way the runway is designed, we want to make a left-hand circuit, so that means we're going to just go ahead, bank to the left here. We've got to leave a climb, but we're going to leave it in flex just for a little bit longer. And we're going to start slowly pitching down. Right, speed check, flap 0. And here we come up on our cruising level, 2,500. That's why I say you should do this off of that sim, because you would not be allowed to have this altitude here. Right, we're going to reduce the levers to climb. I'm just going to let your throttle kick in. In the meantime, you want to get on the opposite heading. So the runway heading for 08, for runway 08, I'm pretty sure it's... I don't actually remember it. I'm just going to go roughly on what I think it is. But either way, you just want to go in this general area. You want to leave the ground spoilers armed. We don't want to turn those off. At this point, we're going to press LS here. It'll give us an indication of the glide slope, runway, lineup, and the VOR, DME, whatever you want to call it. Right, coming up on heading 080, so we're just going to level out. And we're going to continue the way we're going. This will give us some distance between the runway and us. So generally what we're going to do is we're going to look for around about 6 miles before we start turning in. And then we're going to get on the approach course and we're just going to chill, essentially. When we're on the approach course, we're going to do a random landing, just a regular landing, mind you. And once we touch down, we're going to immediately set the flaps to 2, disarm the speed brakes, get the engine up to 50%. Once it's stabilised, we shout to go, push toga, and do a touch and go. That's essentially it. And all I'm going to do is give an example of that. So 6 miles is coming up there, and there comes the glide slope, which means we've timed it just about perfectly. You'll also notice that approach mode has engaged. And while I'm here, I'm just going to grab some quick information so this isn't complaining. 1031, temperature 9 degrees. The wind's 2404. And let's say our barrow is, I don't know, let's say 400. 400 seems good for me. Alright, I'm gonna push this in now, so nav engages and it'll just take us on the approach path on its own. At this point we want to be selecting flaps 1. We're going to press forward so cabin gets ready, because you know they'll complain. There's our runway coming into view. So now we're on the approach path, we want to continue in, and when we're ready, disconnect the autopilot. We want to be crossing the threshold at around about 50 feet on the radio altimeter, which is alive, as you can see just there. That's the radio altimeter. We're going to click approach mode. We're looking for glide slope and localizer armed. They are now engaged because they're green. At this point we select flap 2, we get the gear down. Let the plane do its thing. At about 1,000 feet, we want to be in our full landing configuration and just ready to go. Speed check flap 3. I'm going to go and take control now. Those 3 clicks mean it's reverting to a Cat 1. Adjust the brightness on the PFD so you can see
1,000.
Easy enough. That's 1,000. Get the flaps full. We could do a flap 3 if we'd like, but it's not necessary. Want to be following that ILS until it starts looking unreliable. We'll do a visual one after this, without the use of instruments. Sure to show you how to do those ones.
500.
Looking good so far. I'm going to go ahead and take control now, ignoring the ILS. I'm just going to go visually.
400.
Land. Ignore the PAPIs and ILS at this point, they're not very
300.
accurate. You want to be just below the ILS. Glide slope, sorry. Just below it.
200.
And the closer you get, you want to deviate more.
Glide slope.
Ignore it.
Glide slope. Glide
50,
slope.
50.
40,
Too
30,
low. Terrain.
20. Retard.
Start flare just a little bit, you don't need much more than this.
5,
Just let the plane come down its own. There it is. 50%. Flaps to 2. Plane's down, disarm the speed brakes. Stable, go. Mantoga SRS, go around track. Rotate. Now that we're up, positive climb gear up. Flap 1. Begin that left turn. Nose down. Levers to climb. Flap 0. And now we just go visual. And that's how you do that. And that was the first one. See? Simple as that, right? It's a good way to practice. It's a very, very good way to practice. So we're going to select speed here, bring it up to 250. Alright, we're going to get rid of the flight directors, the LS, and we're going to get the bird on. And start rolling out. And level off at about 080. Now we're going to do a visual. We do have this little aid here to help us out, but as far as I'm concerned, this is visual. So the first landing there was 202 feet per minute, which isn't the greatest. We do want to aim for a little, well, quite a lot lower than that, preferably below 100 feet per minute. There's only so much we can do. So now we're going to go into here, we're going to activate the approach phase because it won't reactivate on its own. Looking at this, we're about the right amount. Just a quick peek at this. No, still a little bit more to go. With that, I'm going to go ahead and start turning it. I'm going to push the managed speed in, which will start decreasing the airspeed. I'm going to rearm the ground spoilers. I'm going to start turning in. Speed check, flap 1. While I'm out, I'm going to disengage glide slope mode because I don't want it yelling at me about that. And just gonna level out just a little bit more than this. Look at our runway, which is right there. Looks alright to me. Looks good, still looks good. Push out just a little bit more to the right. A little bit more left now. Disregard that. Engage flap 2. Now we can see the runway. We just need to level out a little bit more and we'll get the gear down. Just using our eyes to navigate. So we have overshot it just a little bit, but it's not so bad. Now we're looking at the PAPI lights. They look mostly red, so that means we want to just stay here for a little while. Set flap 3. Pitch up a little bit more, watch the bird, we want it to be level. Okay, looks like we're on it now, so we can start descending. 1000 is coming up, so set flap full. Again, start pushing the nose down, just so we can start descending.
$1,000.
A little bit high, so just push down. Starting to come into view now. Okay, we're right on the glide slopes. Stay around here. Pitch up a little bit. We want it to be not at 1000. Eco Memo's landing no blue. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Looking good so far. We're still on the glide path. Still on it. Still on it. Let it come left just a little. There you go. Still on the glide path. Still on the glide path.
500.
Keep it going. This is good. Still looking good.
400.
Still good. Okay.
300.
Go visual now. Ignore the pappies.
200.
Cross the threshold at about 50.
100.
Pitch down just a little bit. Watch the sink rate.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Pitch up. Hold the pitch. Hold the
5.
flare. Hold the flare. And the plane's down. Right, it's at 50%. Flaps 2. Disarm the spoilers. Go. Mantoga SRS, go around track. Rotate. Get the nose up. There we go. Positive rate gear up. We've got nav. And that's how you do a visual. Exactly the same process, but with just a few more extra steps. Watch your altitude as well. Just focus. Keep the altitude down. And just like that, you've done it. We're on the spoilers, reactivate your approach mode, and you can go again. And that's it. That's how you practice your landings. That's the general way to do it. Simple, really.